episode 3 of Citizen Ho. This is the last episode we're allowed to suck in.
The last episode that we're allowed to suck in?
Yeah, because everyone knows episodes 1 through 3 suck, and episodes 4 through 6 are great.
No, something will happen where we... Wait a minute. It depends on if you're basing this on...
I'm not basing this on chronological.
On
I'm basing this on naming purposes alone.
Yeah, you're basing this on Star Wars. Is what it boils down to. And depending on how you really order it, 1 through 3 were the first 3 movies made. Those were the better ones. It was 4, 5, and 6 that sucked. It was just they were labeled episodes 1, 2, and 3.
Touché. But because it'll be episode 4, it'll be great.
Maybe.
Actually, episode 5 really will be our best one by that logic.
Maybe. But
so
who's going to be whose father?
Be prepared.
Who's going to be whose father?
Marty and Steve.
Yeah.
So how you doing?
That's what you got? How you doing?
For those of you who care, my phone was updated to Android 5 Lollipop about 45 minutes ago. I know the entire audience was very excited to hear this.
Hell yeah. And about 2 days ago, my phone was updated to Android 4.4.4. Way to be on top of this stuff, AT&T.
We have the same exact phone, just FYI, just different carriers.
Yeah.
So mine's therefore better.
Yeah, but you're on Sprint.
Yeah, my service kind of sucks.
I have better service, just a more outdated operating system.
So, what's going on in the world today? Or this week?
This week.
We're going to talk about everything that happened last week today. We're like John Oliver, just not as rich.
And with no British accent, so therefore just not.
Yeah, I can't do a British accent.
We can go all the way back. We can start, let's see, we had the Superbowl last Sunday.
Yeah.
Everybody watched that.
Fuck the Patriots. For our New England
just because you don't like the Pats.
Yeah. Well,
bottom line, as far as I'm concerned, Seattle shot themselves in the foot. But
yeah, you have the best running back in the league, and you throw a pass at the 1 yard line with 3 downs.
Yeah, well, you would think they would have done something different, but no.
And Pete Carroll's been a pretty good coach, unless you ask
any
Jet fan.
Okay, but look at what he did right before halftime. He did the same kind of thing. He went completely against standard thinking, and they scored. It worked for them.
It's like playing blackjack. He went against the book.
Yeah, and pissed me off in the process because by Seattle scoring right before halftime, in that last 30 seconds, I lost $150 in my.
Oh, I lost $50 for that. Yeah, what'd you have? What was it? 4 and 7?
Yeah, I had 4 and 7.
I had the same numbers. So
I had 4 and 7 and 9 and 8. 9 and 8 I knew were useless. 4 and 7 I thought I had a shot with.
Yeah, the same guy won the half and the third in my office.
The same guy. I think the same guy won the half and the third in my office. Yeah, because it was the same score.
Yeah.
So it would have been that everywhere, or the same.
It was
numbers.
like 24-17 or something like that.
Yeah, it was the same numbers by the end of the third quarter.
So, what'd you think of the halftime show?
I mean, it was fine for what it was.
They should have gone with Weird Al.
No, look, yes, you and I like Weird Al. Weird Al's not mainstream enough.
There's only
Weird Al's more of it's like
Elliott
a comedy show.
Mainstream these days.
Missy Elliott's been out of the spotlight for like 3 years or something.
Apparently
she's been sick.
I thought she was dead.
No, she was sick or whatever. No, I mean it was okay for what it was. It was a Katy Perry show. I mean,
it was a much more exciting game than last year, though.
Yeah,
last
the
year
game
was
was better.
Boring Super Bowl. This one was back and forth, and it was.
Except for like the past 5 or 6 years, the commercials have sucked.
I think it's been more like the past 10 years.
Has it been that long? Maybe.
So,
when was the FedEx the Caveman FedEx commercial? That's like the last good commercial I remember.
I remember the Geico Caveman commercials.
The FedEx Caveman commercial was a caveman takes something like a piece of paper or whatever, ties it to a bone, gives it to a pterodactyl, and then sends the pterodactyl off.
Now I remember.
Pterodactyl gets a dinosaur jumps up, grabs the pterodactyl in midair, eats it, kills it. Bone comes falling back down. The caveman picks up the bone, takes it back into a cave, and then they have some caveman dialogue, just grunts and moans, but they translate it as the guy walking in saying, "Package didn't make it." Why not? Did you use FedEx? But FedEx doesn't exist yet. Not my problem. You're fired. And then the guy walks outside and gets stomped on by a brontosaurus or
There was
something.
one a couple years ago with a lobster in it that was pretty good. Made me think of you, because anything that...
A lobster?
I don't remember, but anything with a lobster makes me think of you.
Well, because it's lobster.
And
My
favorite commercial this year had to be the Bud Light with human Pac-Man.
That one was good, but for pure laughs, my favorite one, and I think that's probably what I judge commercials on the best, is because I remember from like 99, 2000, some of those commercials were just hysterical. And that's what I always look for, is just a really funny commercial. Mm-hmm. And the funniest one that I saw it was like right before kickoff. It was for...
I know the most expensive commercial is the first one after kickoff. I think that's like double the price of every other one.
Which I don't understand, because at least the last couple of years since you first told me that, every year that commercial is never even that good. So I don't know what the hell.
It's usually like a Toyota commercial.
And I think there was a big commercial like right after halftime, and I think there's also a big one, the big one at like the 2-minute warning, which I think was the Victoria's Secret commercial this year.
Okay. There was also that one about the girls, female empowerment, and it wound up being like an Always commercial.
Oh, yeah.
That actually one wound up taking off because it became like a couple of... became a trending hashtag about women empowerment this week.
Well, women empowerment is a big thing. I mean, that's fine. It was kind of a weird
I'm
company.
all for women empowerment. They could have power it right into the kitchen. Case in point, turn around.
Yes, you say that as my wife is making dinner there, and she probably just yelled at you to shut your mouth.
Just kidding. We support women equality on Citizen Ho.
Yeah, no, we're fine with it. I find it odd that a tampon company would put that out there, but...
Well, they're empowering it somewhere special.
Whatever. But I don't know. I don't make the connection between tampons or maxi pads and women empowerment. Sorry.
There's also one where, like...
I don't have a problem with the message itself. It's just I don't see the connection.
There was a controversial one with the kid who was like, I'm already dead.
Oh, yeah. That one was depressing.
Yeah.
But no, okay, so back to what was my favorite one was for Esurance. It was like right before kickoff. It's two kids standing in front of their school, and all of a sudden a minivan comes driving up, but it's like swerving all over the place. It's running into things. You know, whoever's driving it is, you know, like driving for a demolition derby or something. And the car pulls up. One kid says to the other, "Your mom's a terrible driver." And then the driver's side window of the car opens, and it's driven by Lindsay Lohan. And the kid goes, "You're not my mom." And she goes, "I'm similar to your mom. We're both 25 to 35 years old." Da 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 da. And that was Esurance's theme that night, because they also did the one, the Brady Bunch commercial later in the game.
That was a good one.
Yeah, so it was the same theme, but I thought having Lindsay Lohan, you know, making fun of her driving record was awesome.
Steve Buscemi as Jan was just...
Oh, that was good. That was a great way to end it.
Who played Marsh again?
In the show?
No, I know it was in the commercial.
The actor. I forget the guy's name, but he's actually a former inmate. He was in the movie Desperado, and I don't remember what he's been in a few things. He was the bartender in Anchorman. And, yeah, I just can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, me
but
neither.
He's like a real badass.
Tweet us at Citizen Ho Pod to remind us of his name.
Yes, or email us at citizenhopod@gmail.com. Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. Yeah, just get to me. It's...
Okay,
Machete.
now we remembered. What?
It's Machete. From
Sure.
the Robert Rodriguez films.
Yeah, Desperado was a Robert Rodriguez movie. Was he in any of the others? I don't even know.
He's been in a bunch of...
He died in Desperado.
He was in all the Spy Kids movies.
Was he?
Yeah. And it's Machete.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good comedic career because he's such a badass in real life. But let's see. Halftime show. The end of the game. But getting screwed by Seattle or New England's sudden lack of defense in the 30-second drive before halftime.
Yeah. Damn you. So we don't like Seattle and we don't like New England. So.
I just didn't like the way Seattle played. Well, I didn't like Seattle for, you know, being able to march downfield to score, but I blame New England's defense on that one more than anything.
So, speaking with NBC, did you happen to see Fallon last night?
I did.
I didn't, but I caught it on YouTube today.
Oh, really?
Okay, this may be the best late night bit I've ever seen.
That was one of the better ones.
For those of you who don't know, while Fallon was the host of Late Night, he was trying to organize a Saved by the Bell reunion for years.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah. He actually had he had an episode where he's like, I couldn't get the cast to Saved by the Bell, so here's the cast of California Dreams, and they played the theme song. It's on YouTube, folks.
The Saved by the Bell thing was awesome. The one thing that I found odd is
Mr. Belding looks like he ate himself and then some.
Well, yes, whoever,
Richard Haskins?
I don't remember his name, but yeah, he came down and he looked like he had eaten the old Belding, but...
And Screech. And Lisa. The ones who weren't in it.
Quite possibly. Well, Screech is in jail.
I thought he was out on bail.
I don't know. I know he's got serious legal problems because he apparently stabbed a guy.
Apparently he was like flat broke and he did his own porn. He was trying to sell shirts online.
Poor Screech.
Mm-hmm.
But, Mark Paul Gosselaar comes out at the start of it. And, he looks, they definitely did a pretty good job of making him look like Zach Morris. But especially on some of the close-ups, like, you could tell he's just he's still
I mean,
a lot
Saved by the Bell
older.
went off the air, 20 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. But, and then...
The girls looked pretty good, actually.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen looked a little bit older, but she was okay.
Elizabeth Berkley
the close-ups of Elizabeth Berkley, she looked exactly at some of the further away shots, but as soon as they closed in on her, like, you could see she definitely looked a lot older.
And the wig they had on Mario Lopez was just...
Mario Lopez doesn't look like he aged one damn bit. I don't understand this.
It was just a bad wig.
No, aside from the wig, they got his hairstyle right, but even on his close-ups, he still looked exactly like he did on that show.
The other thing is I felt it's been 20 years, but they still had the spirit of their characters and their acting. It was like they hadn't forgotten how to be them.
Yeah, well, and apparently a lot of them still talk to each other. So
yeah, they don't talk to Screech, though.
Yeah, well, would you want to talk to Screech?
Did you see that behind-the-scenes movie they did?
No, I think you've asked me about this before. I have not seen it.
Well, did I ask you on the podcast?
I don't know.
Okay, well, if I had... I'm sorry, folks. I didn't... It was kind of boring, and the actors they had looked nothing like them. I mean, they had a Hispanic guy playing Mario Lopez, but his skin color was way too dark.
What did they have? Danny Trejo playing Mario Lopez?
Maybe. And, like, the kid who played Zach, it was just... They looked nothing like them.
Okay, aside from whether or not they actually looked like the people, the question is, did they get the story right at all? I did hear something that apparently the real actor said that the stories they told in that really weren't all that true.
Right, it's because it was based on Screech's book, which apparently he didn't write.
Okay, then.
But the moral of the story is Fallon's did a good job of recreating Bayside High. They had some, like...
Yeah, well, I mean, that set's not that hard to recreate.
True. But they also had some, like, Easter eggs, for lack of better terms, in there.
Okay. I mean, I saw that they had the Save the Max poster in the background.
They had her do the I'm So Excited bit.
Oh, yes.
That
wasn't an Easter egg. They did that on purpose.
Yeah.
That was
the first thing Zach
plain.
said was the theme song.
Yeah.
They called Elizabeth. They said, Jesse, it's not like you're going to be a stripper.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
And let's see. They redid the way they did the lockers was exact. Like, I remember the locker numbers being exactly how they did it on the original show. What else? I don't remember. No. But I mean, it was and just the bright red like railings on the stairs. Yeah. It was all very
and
80s.
The outfits. I think she was really.
They got the outfits right.
They nailed
good.
The outfits. I think
Slater's
I remember seeing Elizabeth Berkley
jeans.
in that episode, and they had Kelly in a cheerleader uniform.
Yeah.
It looked
Slater's acid wash jeans.
Yeah,
that was good. Until he ripped off all his clothes to reveal the dance outfit.
They did the same exact dance they did together in an episode.
Oh, did they? I'm not surprised.
I think it's the one where the guys lied about something and they had to make it up to the girls.
Maybe.
I think that sounds like every episode, doesn't it?
And they threw in the reference of Fallon's apparently horribly failed date with Nicole Kidman.
I never heard about that.
Oh yeah, apparently, like, he had Nicole Kidman on the show like a month or so ago, and they talked about, apparently they went on like some blind date like 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was. I assume before Nicole Kidman was married to Tom Cruise. And apparently it went just horribly, horribly wrong. So that was that whole thing about, maybe I'll get to date Nicole Kidman. And I don't know if you saw Fallon the night before, but he had Doc Severinsen on sitting in with the Roots.
No, I don't really watch Fallon that much.
Oh, it's good. I like it. But yeah, Doc Severinsen, the band leader from Johnny Carson's show, was sitting in with the band. First off, I thought he was pretty old anyway. I'm surprised he's still alive, but no, he was
probably the only one live from the Johnny Carson show still.
Maybe. Well, Peter LaSalle died not that long ago, so
Ed and Johnny are long gone.
Yes. Oh well. But and they played the old Carson Tonight Show theme song, which is cool. Oh, and also last night they had Carl Reiner on, which was nice.
His character in Wolf of Wall Street is hysterical.
Carl Reiner?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 93 years old now.
Really?
Yeah, he's up there.
He looks good for his age.
I mean, when he was on the show, you could tell he was looking pretty old.
Mel Brooks is looking pretty old too these days.
Mel Brooks has been looking old for 15 years.
Well, he's starting to look older.
Yeah, well, now he's starting to get the comedic luminary treatment because he's so old. I think I may have told you about this. There's a thing on Netflix, a whole like Mel Brooks like retrospective where they.
I think it was on PBS that I saw or something like that originally. I think it was originally on PBS.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, like he talks about his early life, about some of what led up to him making some of the films over the years.
There's a whole thing on HBO the other day that I recorded. I haven't watched it yet. Mel Brooks live at the something.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And so it's like he comes in, sits down, and is interviewed by some guy. I forget.
I recorded. I haven't watched it yet.
That was also pretty interesting. It's good stuff.
There's a good one I saw about it with Stan Lee on that. It was pretty cool.
Ooh.
Stan Lee is just awesome. Like, I heard of once he's saying, like, how do you feel, Stan? I feel happy for you. You get to be in my presence. He puts on this faux persona of this arrogant prick, and it's hysterical.
Okay. We, at work, almost did an event with Stan Lee, whatever his company is.
Stan Lee Media?
Yeah. And he was supposed to speak on it, and I wasn't on apparently there was an early call with him, his assistant, and some people from our direct client. So I wasn't able to be on this call, but I heard about it afterwards. Apparently, they started asking him, oh, did you want to include like a PowerPoint presentation as part of the event or anything?
What's that?
Did you want to have slides in it? And Stan's response was apparently something along the lines of, nah, I don't need that shit.
Did he actually wind up doing the event?
No, they didn't do the event. And I remember we actually put together like a whole super custom player for it, but they ended up pulling the plug on it. I did get on a call with his assistant at the time.
I actually heard he's a really cool guy, and like the arrogant persona is a joke, and everyone knows.
Oh yeah, no, it is. It's just him. It's just him being funny.
Speaking of comics, so yesterday they released, I think, Superman number 38. For those who don't know, DC restarted all their comics about 3 years ago. So
okay, I vaguely remember hearing that.
They basically gave this was the biggest news in comics in the last week. They gave Superman a new costume. This is what they did. They made his sleeves a little longer. They changed the belt. They moved where the cape was and different boots. That's it. And this was a big deal.
This is the big deal. So all they did was some minor alterations to his costume, and the comic bookdom went berserk.
Pretty much. And they gave him a new power.
Why? Who cares? Is it that important?
Apparently, purists. He no longer has the external
Superman's been around for what, 80 years?
76.
That was close.
The only reason I know that is because it was the 75th birthday last year. Batman's 75 this year.
They're allowed to tweak the costume a little bit. Calm the F down. It's just a comic book.
And they gave him a new power.
Okay.
Basically, his heat vision...
Yeah.
Now can soar out of his whole body and becomes like a sonic flare.
Okay.
And
he's Superman. He couldn't do that anyway.
Apparently not.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a big deal. I read the comic. It was kind of boring.
Nah.
I'm a nerd, for those of you who can't figure that out.
I don't know what it was. I never got that into comic books. I like the movies. I just never got into reading them as a kid.
I've been a fan of comic books. I like reading them. More so now that I can do them digitally, and it made me lazier.
I was into Mad Magazine for a while. It's sort of comic book-ish.
In other news about sequels...
In other literature news...
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, there's a sequel coming out To Kill a Mockingbird. Apparently, I read...
It's not really a sequel, actually, for what it is.
No,
this was the original book, and then they felt the flashbacks were stronger than the actual book, so that became To Kill a Mockingbird.
So To Kill a Mockingbird was a prequel for this book, because she wrote this book first.
Well, no, To Kill a Mockingbird was... Portions of this book were taken out to make To Kill a Mockingbird, is how it was.
Okay, because as I understand it...
Basically, as they were reading the original manuscript, the flashbacks they felt were better than this book, and that became To Kill a Mockingbird, the flashbacks.
Okay, no, 'cause I read an article, and what they said was Harper Lee had written this, she showed it to some people, they thought that some of the early, I think it was some of the flashbacks or some of the earlier stuff was stronger, so they asked her to write a book about that, about the earlier.
I thought it was
the earlier story. So she wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, and then this basically just sat there, was just put away, and then somebody found it recently, just
She's
attached
still alive.
to. Yeah,
she's like 90.
She like found it recently attached to the original manuscript for To Kill a Mockingbird. And she said she showed it to a few people. They all said it looked good, so they sent it to a publisher, and they said they wanted to publish it.
The interesting thing I heard about it is there's going to be no edits.
No, because she's pretty old. I don't think she has the energy in her to rewrite anything, so they're just taking it as it is.
To Kill a Mockingbird was one of the good books they made us read in school.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember reading it. I don't remember anything about it anymore.
Scout and Gem, was it?
I think it may have been Jim, but I don't remember.
And they were living in this racist town, and her father was defending the black guy from murder.
Right.
And Boo Radley across the street. Mr. Arthur. Gregory Peck.
Okay. Yeah, see, you can see how good my memory is of this.
I like that.
American literature classic, and I remember nothing.
I'll have to remember that next time we play Trivia Crack.
Hey, I'm pretty good at Trivia Crack, so.
Yeah. That, Catcher in the Rye was another good one I read in high school. And Fahrenheit 451.
Catcher in the Rye, supposedly, there are some rumors that the school that he goes to in Catcher in the Rye is based on a private school right near where I grew up, out in Stony Brook, out in Long Island.
Really? I thought it was based on a private school in the city.
No, the idea is that he grew up outside of the city.
School?
The Stony Brook School, yeah. Supposedly, that the private school they went to was based on that, which may or may not be true. But remember, like the beginning of the book, he gets on a train and goes into the city from wherever he is.
Again, this was 20-something years ago.
Yes, for whatever reason, I remember at least a little bit of Catcher in the Rye, but I don't remember much about To Kill a Mockingbird.
It's too warm here. Some people might
Scott's a little warm. He had to take off his sweater. Ooh.
Now to plug my earphones back in.
Good luck with that.
Now I'm plugged in. Did you guys miss me?
No. I speak for everybody. No.
No. So, another bit we're going to start periodically is the Citizen Ho Book Club. I heard about a book on a podcast called Picking Favorites, which is hosted by the Nerd Machine. The book was called Ready Player One. So I decided to download it because it was like $2.99 on Google Play.
Really? It was $3.99 on Amazon. Son of a bitch.
And I read the whole thing in 2 days. Basically,
I don't know. Well, go ahead.
Okay.
Do your synopsis.
Just to give you the quick rundown of it, it's I wouldn't say post-apocalyptic. I'm going to go with dystopian future.
Yeah.
In a world where like we've basically destroyed the Earth. There's very little human resources. There's a bigger divide between the wealthy and the poor than now.
Very little natural resources, not human resources.
Natural, whatever. Same shit, different day.
Basically, there ain't no more oil.
And basically, the whole world is plugged into this online game, which is like an advance of like a World of Warcraft type game, but it's
advanced
bigger.
Virtual reality.
Yeah, it's almost like a virtual reality. And like kids go to school in this instead of going to actual school.
Yeah.
It became the whole world. And the creator of it dies, and he basically leaves an Easter egg in the game, and the person who finds it inherits his fortune of billions of dollars. And the whole premise of the game is like you have to figure out these puzzles that are rooted in 1980s pop culture. there's references to Back to the Future, Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
War games,
and Atari games, and Commodore 64. Like
in television.
If you grew up in the 1980s, it's a fun buck.
Yeah, if you grew up in the 1980s playing video games like us.
It was more than just video games, though. There's movies,
video games
television.
And movies, but I mean, I think it's a lot based on like video games and just sort of that male pop culture fascination from that whole time period.
Wasn't there a part where we talked about doing a Growing Pains binge?
That I haven't gotten to.
I thought it was in the beginning of the book.
If he did, I don't even remember it. Maybe because it involves Kirk Cameron, so therefore I just block it out.
Kirk Cameron is an asshole. We're going to try to say that at least once a podcast.
You suck, Kirk.
Kevin's still in the middle of it, so I won't give anything away, but I highly recommend you reading it. It's an easy read. It's pretty easy. Kevin's
the only thing
slow.
that I would say is that I feel like the first couple of chapters are kind of slow because it's a lot of just exposition and nothing really happens until finally you get to this one point where all of a sudden something happens.
It's like a hyperbolic curve.
And then suddenly, boom, now all of a sudden there's action.
Yeah, the
and
second
story
half of the
really
book is a lot
moving.
faster.
So yeah, I'm at that point now. I'm like 45% through it.
So I give it a thumb up. What do you?
Yeah, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Kevin,
I don't know if there's
up.
if there's any a 45% thumb up. No, but if there are any female listeners, you might not necessarily be as into it unless you were really into video games.
I know
and
of at
movies
least
and
one
TV.
female person who would like it.
Yes, I think I know who you're talking about. But like I said, if you were
I'll give
into
you a
video
clue.
games and/or movies and TV, yes. Yeah, if you're into any of that stuff, you'll like the book. If you're not, you probably won't enjoy it that much. It just won't be all that interesting.
So, now let's... Bad segue, hashtag. Oh, by the way, if you liked Ready Player One or didn't like it, comment on our Facebook at Citizen Ho. Tweet us at Citizen Ho Pod. Email us, citizenhopod@gmail.com.
Is that our official hashtag now? Just bad segue?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, tweet us at Citizen Ho Pod with bad segues. Come up with segues that suck.
Or just transitions between two songs in your MP3 player that made no sense. Those are bad segues too.
Boo.
We can make that interesting. What boo?
Was it funny?
Oh, come on. Have you never listened to your MP3 player and it goes from one song to another that is like, why? And that's just a totally wrong
I still think
transition.
the randomization sucks in MP3 players. Like, I'd play like 5 songs from the same artist in a row. How is that random?
I've never gotten that far, but I have played 2 or 3 from the same artist in a row. Then it tends to.
I stopped listening to music, so.
Shame on you.
I listen to the art that we perform. Kevin just gave me a blank stare for about 10 seconds before he got it.
If you want to call this art, sure.
Hey, art has many forms.
Yeah, but you still won't consider rap as music.
Because
it's
people talking with a beat.
So that's a form of music. Music
No,
is
it's a
just
form
sound.
of art. It's not a form of music.
What?
They're not singing.
Who cares? Who said music had to be singing?
Me.
Music just has to be sounds to a beat or at a tempo.
Please, next thing you're going to do is you're going to tell me Creed is music.
Unfortunately, it is. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Ooh, minty.
You're sniffing some random candle that's been sitting on my table for 4 years.
It's minty.
Good for it.
Well, now, we actually made a good segue now. So we're talking about music. It fits into the next subject.
Go, bring it on.
So, Whitney Houston, she's dead.
Yes, I think everybody knows that.
Apparently, her daughter was found unresponsive. When was it? Sunday morning?
I think it was Saturday or Sunday.
I don't know. My wife tells me these things. I ignore her till I hear about it.
Yeah, it was either Saturday or Sunday. I want to say it was Saturday, actually.
They think it was drug-related, I think?
Possibly. I've heard a lot of weird stories about that.
She's had health problems for a long time, too.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that. At first they said it wasn't drugs, then all of a sudden they said they found drugs, so they were investigating more. But they found her in a bathtub, similar to her mother. She's been in a coma since then in the hospital, and I've heard supposedly they've told the family to prepare for the worst, and they were starting to make funeral arrangements. But then Bobbi Brown's camp released something that said, no, we said nothing of the sort. We're just waiting to see what happens. So who knows?
And then I heard today they pulled life support. Who knows?
Yeah, I heard that one too. So I don't know.
I think Bobby's just going to have to take control.
Really?
Sorry. I apologize for my
That's from Ghostbusters 2. Just no. Stop.
Where are you from anywhere, Johnny? The Upper West Side? Sorry, that's my favorite line.
We're on the Upper West Side.
Oh. So something I did at work today, I had to test something. I don't know why this made me think of it, but I had to test something today, so I had to create a division to set up a test. So I went with Division 69 because it wasn't taken. So guess what I named it? 3 guesses.
Okay. What, Bill and Ted?
Yes! It was Bill and Ted's Division.
Okay.
And the address was San Dimas, California.
Good for you.
And the invoice description was San Dimas High School football rules.
Why not?
Hey, I have to entertain myself some way at work.
See, I actually interact with other people for entertainment.
No, I had to test
most of
something,
the
so
time.
I had to create something to test. So I'm like, yeah, might as well have fun.
Yeah, well, that's the purpose
I
of
couldn't
testing.
I couldn't go with vulgar. God forbid a customer.
I can't tell you how many tests I've logged into with the email address eat@joes.com, but
I used to use that, or a lot of things I would do is if I was pissed off at somebody, I would use their email address to sign up for stuff.
oh, I've been signed up for a lot of things.
That wasn't me.
Sure it was.
And
I blame you for all of it.
Speaking of blame, so
Blame?
you hear about
What?
Anthem?
Yes, I heard about Anthem.
They got hacked.
One of the next largest big data hacks of all time now.
Yeah.
How many millions of people?
would
Except
think
I
they
don't
could-
have Anthem healthcare, so I don't think I have to worry about it.
I didn't have Anthem. I had a different Blue Cross out of Illinois.
Yeah, I had
so-
Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield, but...
Anthem's a Jersey thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Oh, this was Connecticut? Oh, I was told by the Peanut Gallery this is Connecticut.
No. Okay, apparently it's in Connecticut. We don't live in Connecticut.
Woohoo!
Doesn't
Well, fuck
affect
them.
us. But, yeah, you're just yet another in a long list of data hacks.
Yeah, my credit card got hit a couple of months ago. That pissed me off.
Yeah, no, I think my card got hit a couple of years ago.
I-
Somebody bought something in Switzerland with it.
I have limits set on my what am I talking? My debit card. So if my balance falls below certain thresholds, I get emails. Excuse me. I'm walking into a football game. All of a sudden, my emails are going off. Your balance is here. Your balance is here. Your balance is here. I go, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Somebody decided to go crazy at an Apple store with my debit card.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
I got all the money back, but the problem with the debit card is it's cash, you know?
Yeah, well, that's why they use it.
And I had to pay my mortgage that day.
Pay your mortgage with a debit card?
No, it's tied to my bank account.
Oh.
Kevin, he's slow. He no get these things.
Well, I just assumed that the debit card had money on it, and you just used whatever money was on it. I didn't know it was tied directly to your bank account. I don't know that shit.
Debit is bank. Don't you have a debit card?
No.
How do you live in the 21st century and not have a debit card?
Yeah, you know what my debit card is? My wallet. Whatever cash is in it, that's what I got.
Just write out cash. It's easier.
Yeah.
Probably why I spend a fortune because I have one of these, but
Yeah, maybe. Then you wonder why I don't have a debit card.
touche.
I have credit cards. I have cash. And I can write checks if I need to.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. I generally don't, but every once in a while.
All right.
Yes, you still need them.
Need a new piece of paper.
Or you can just turn that over.
No, I can. It's like, no, I
So?
guess there's enough room. It's time to keep score for episode 2.
Episode 2. No, it's just the next round of...
We don't know
we
shit
don't
about
know
movies.
shit about movies.
So, as those who remember, I'm in the lead, 1-0.
Ooh, 1-0. That's what you got. 1-0.
Well, hold on. I got a picture text. I have to see what it... Oh, my God.
Aw.
My friend...
Scott has a picture text of little kids.
My friend texted us a picture of her daughter and says, tomorrow for school, she has to bring her favorite article of clothing, and she picked this shirt. It's the one we bought her for her birthday.
Aw. Oh, boy. This week's movies are disheartening in a lot of ways.
Oh, okay. So let's start at the top. The first movie is Jupiter Ascending. Do you want to read the description, my fine fellow friend?
Yeah. starring Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis, Sean Bean, and Eddie Redmayne. So, the synopsis here. Jupiter Jones, played by Mila Kunis, was born under a night sky with signs predicting that she was destined for great things. Now grown, Jupiter dreams of the stars but wakes up to the cold reality of a job cleaning toilets and an endless run of bad breaks. Only when Kane, Channing Tatum, a genetically engineered ex-military hunter, arrives on Earth to track her down does Jupiter begin to glimpse the fate that has been waiting for her all along. Her genetic signature marks her as next in line for an extraordinary inheritance that could alter the balance of the cosmos.
Dun dun dun. So, do you know who's directing this movie?
No idea.
The Wachowskis.
Oh, yeah, you told me. I forget what their significance is, but yeah, you told me about it.
Little movie came out in 1999 called The Matrix.
Oh, yeah.
I liked The Matrix the first time I saw it. Subsequent viewings, I don't feel it held up. The sequels were just piss poor. I liked V for Vendetta, though.
Oh, see, the first Matrix I can still watch. The rest of them, I could barely watch them. I never saw the third one, but the second one I could barely watch the first time. So,
but they used to be known as the Wachowski brothers.
But now they're just the Wachowskis.
Do you know why?
Because one of them is now the Wachowski sister.
He used to be Larry. Now he's Lana. You said that like out of ADX. We're the Warner brothers, and I'm the Warner sister. Sorry.
The Wachowski sister. Dot.
So, I don't know. I think this movie looks good based on... I've actually seen previews for this, so I'm going to go with Fresh.
Yeah, I'll go with Fresh on this one.
All right.
I'm not going to argue that one. It's at the top of the list for a reason.
Yeah, okay. The next movie, I'm just... Based on the description, I'm going to go Rotted, but I'm probably going to be wrong.
What, SpongeBob, Sponge Out of Water?
Yeah.
Starring Bill Fagerbakke.
You know who he is?
SpongeBob?
No, do you know who he is? He played Dauber on Coach.
I don't remember that show. I remember the show.
He played Marshall's father in How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, okay. Tom Kenny, Clancy Brown, and Carolyn Lawrence. The second feature film featuring SpongeBob SquarePants and his friends in the underwater city of Bikini Bottom. The series' main cast members, Tom Kenny, Bill Fagerbakke, Roger Bumpass. Roger Bumpass, really?
I wonder if it's Boompass. It's French.
Okay, Mr. Dumbass. Clancy Brown and Carolyn Lawrence are set to reprise their roles. Not much of a description on this.
It's SpongeBob.
Yes, it's SpongeBob. Hey, have you ever watched SpongeBob?
For about 30 seconds, it's irritating.
It's kind of a twisted cartoon, actually. My sister-in-law actually really likes that show, or at least she used to when she was younger, before she had kids. Now she's going to have to indoctrinate her own kids into it, but they're a little young for it.
Feel bad for your brother, then.
SpongeBob.
I think it takes place in the real world because
I saw previews for it at the theater, and yeah, it's something where they have to go into the real world, so they're 3D CGI animated, as opposed to just drawn like they are when they're underwater. So I don't know. I mean,
I'm going Rodden.
You know what? I think for what it is, it'll be fine. You just have to look at it through the lens of it being a SpongeBob SquarePants movie. So I'll go with Fresh.
Ooh, we have a disagreement. We're going to have to take this outside.
No, we're not. It's too damn cold.
That's true.
All right, you're reading the next one.
Why, because it's log?
Yes, because I read 2 already.
The seventh son. In a long time past, an evil is about to be unleashed that will reignite the war between the forces of the supernatural and humankind once more. Dun dun dun. Master Gregory is a knight. Master Gregory? Sorry.
Played by
Jeff Bridges is a knight who had imprisoned the malevolently. Is that a word? Malevolently?
Malevolently.
Malevolently? What he said. Powerful, rich.
Scott talks English good.
I'd be an engineer. Julianne Moore. Centuries ago. But now she has escaped and is seeking vengeance. Summoning her followers of every incarnation, Mother Malkin is preparing to unleash her terrible wrath on an unsuspecting world. Only one thing stands in our way. It's Jeff Bridges.
Ooh.
In a deadly reunion, Gregory comes face to face with the evil that he has always feared would someday return. Now he has only until the next full moon to do what usually takes years. Train his new apprentice, Tom Ward, played by Ben Barnes. Who the fuck is Ben? I think he was like Caspian in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Rotten.
What? To fight a dark magic
on this
unlike any other. Man's only hope is the seventh son of a seventh son.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rotten.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Next we have Ballet 422. From first rehearsal to world premiere, Ballet 422 takes us backstage at New York City Ballet as Justin Peck, a young up-and-coming choreographer, crafts a new work. With unprecedented access to an elite world, Ballet 422 illuminates the process behind the creation of a single ballet.
Sounds documentary to me.
Yeah, and I don't think this is even going to be on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, me neither. But let's try
This
anyway.
just seems very indie theater-ish.
I bet you it'd be fresh, though.
Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm going fresh.
Yeah, fresh. What the hell? If it's even on there.
Yep, okay. Lambert and Stamp. Sounds like a bad cop partnership movie. Nope, it's not. In this crazy, chaotic gospel of chance, aspiring filmmakers Chris Stamp and Kit Lambert set out to search for the subject of their underground movie, leading them to discover, mentor, and manage the iconic band known as The Who and create rock and roll history. Actually, it sounds interesting to me.
It sounds like it could be interesting.
It
but
kind of
I
sounds
don't know.
like the version of Fanboys, except replace Star Wars with The Who.
Maybe.
I liked
I don't know.
Fanboys. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, it's a fun movie.
No reason to go see that. Oh, God. Seeing some of the other stuff that's coming up later.
Just to let you know, fans, it doesn't get better.
No. No, it does not.
So,
all right, what's your vote for Lambert and Stamp?
I want to like it, so I'm going to go with fresh.
Yeah, I'll go fresh, too.
Number 6.
Just because I think it'll be a surprise.
Okay. Love, Rosie.
Love, Rosie, with Lily Collins and Sam Claflin.
Who's Lily Collins?
I don't know.
I know
Since the moment they met at age 5, Rosie, played by Lily Collins, and Alex, played by Sam Claflin, have been best friends facing the highs and lows of growing up side by side. A fleeting shared moment, one missed opportunity, and the decisions that follow send their lives in completely different directions. As each navigates the complexities of life, love, and everything in between, they always find their way back to each other. But is it just friendship or something more?
I know who Sam Claflin is.
I swear to God they made this movie already.
They made this movie like 100 times.
Yeah.
Sam Claflin played Finnick in
Okay.
Catching Fire.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to go Rotten on this because it just sounds like complete bullshit.
Yeah, Rotten. All right. You going to make me read again? Fine.
What was your vote of the last one?
Rotten.
Oh, Rotten. You want me to read this one?
If you want.
Past the Light, starring John Grease, Alexandra DeBerry, Cameron Palatas, and Colby French. Steve Bellafiore, played by Cameron Palatas. Palatas?
Whatever.
Is a very special kid. A bright, religiously rotted that yearns to become a football starter and works twice as hard as his high school peers to accomplish that goal. Steve's work ethic and kindness radiate through his life. Currently upset by his parents' seeming estrangement, Steve is even disturbed by the message of hatred and tolerance espoused by Franklin Bauman, played by John Grease, a fanatically Christian candidate for Congress. Steve wants to make the point that Bauman's exclusionary and fear-based doctrine has very little to do with his Christian perception of Christ's teaching. In retaliation, Steve announces his own candidacy for Congress.
Oh my God.
Is he a special kid or is he a special... He doesn't look like
Is
special
Kirk
kids.
Cameron involved in this somehow? All right, I vote Rotten.
Yeah,
because
me
it's
too.
just way too Christian for me. Or maybe I'm just way too Jewy for it. I don't know.
In case you missed that, Kevin just admitted to being a racist.
No, I admitted to being a Jew.
Same thing. Wait, what?
All right, last but not least, or maybe it is least, The Voices with Ryan Reynolds.
Rotten.
Yeah, exactly. Anna Kendrick,
Fresh.
Gemma Arterton, and
She's hot.
Jackie Weaver. So, Jerry, played by Ryan Reynolds, is that chipper guy clocking the 9 to 5 at a bathtub factory.
Rotten for using the word chipper in a description.
With the offbeat charm of anyone who could use a few friends. With the help of his court-appointed psychiatrist, he pursues his office crush, Gemma Arterton. However, the relationship takes a sudden murderous turn after she stands him up for a date. Guided by his evil talking cat and benevolent talking dog, Jerry must decide whether to keep striving... And my phone locked.
Please wait for technical... We're experiencing technical difficulties. Please hold
Keep
on.
striving for normalcy or indulge in a much more sinister path.
What the fuck? Who the hell comes up with this shit? What, does he have like the dog and the cat?
Is Ryan Reynolds that desperate for work? I mean, granted, he is Ryan Reynolds, but...
Is it like the thing with like the devil and the angel on his shoulders, except one's a dog and one's a cat?
Maybe.
I love Anna Kendrick, but...
No, Anna Kendrick ain't saving this one.
Liam Neeson couldn't save this one.
Yeah, rotten.
Wait, did you see the commercial? Going back to the Super Bowl, it's related to movies for Ted 2 during that.
Yeah. I did see a commercial for it. I don't remember if it was during the Super Bowl or not.
But they were trying to steal Tom Brady's sperm.
All I know is Mila Kunis isn't in it. So.
Apparently, she may be in it a little bit, like a cameo role. Apparently, she was too pregnant during filming to be in it, is what they said.
They could have just written that into the movie. Shame on them. Mm-hmm. Come on, it's Ted. It doesn't have to be that...
I liked the first movie.
Exactly. It's a good movie, but let's be honest. It's just a jokey buddy comedy, so...
All right, so...
They can easily tweak the script.
Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes, see what's coming out this week. Okay, so... looks like I only have 4 out of 8. We'll try to look the other ones up. So...
All right.
The first one is Jupiter Ascending that I have listed. We were both wrong.
We voted
27%.
Wow.
So,
okay.
I'm shocked on that one. SpongeBob SquarePants. Kevin gets the point.
Fresh?
Yup.
Woot!
What was number 3? I don't
remember.
I have to go back and forth.
Hold on.
The Seventh Son.
All right.
Oh, that's cool. It uses... Sorry, I just noticed this thing on my phone. Now when I go to multitask, it uses each tab as a different thing in there. Sorry.
Okay, so
Seventh
Son.
Son. Wow. This is almost as bad as Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas. 6%.
All right, so we both got that one right. Ballet 422.
Okay, that's not listed. Did we have Love Rosie?
Yes, we did.
What number was that?
That was 2 more after Ballet.
So Ballet's 4. So it's number 6?
Yeah.
But we got that both as rotten. So that's good. All right, so now let me look up Ballet 422.
Yep.
Give us some hold music while I look these things up.
Do 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 do.
I said hold music, not Jeopardy.
Oh, it's the same.
Ballet 422, 85%.
Okay.
So we're both right.
Lambert and Stamp is next.
I still say that sounds like a buddy cop movie, like Tango and Cash.
Yeah, it does, but anyway.
Lambert and
do 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 do. I don't feel like humming anymore.
So whistle. Not reviewed.
Okay then.
Okay, what was after?
Then we had Love Rosie, and then Pass the Light.
Pass the Dochi Dochi.
Yeah, Pass the Dochi on the left-hand side.
Pass the Light.
Yep.
While I'm looking up, my parents were calling me. Just FYI.
Of course they are. Because it's your mother.
Pass the Light does not have any reviews.
Okay, and then The Voices. Which is a Ryan Reynolds movie, so that kind of says all you need.
I'm waiting for it to get like a 95% or something like that.
What did it get?
79%.
Really? Why? What are people thinking?
I'm seeing if there's legit. There's a bunch of reviews here. Wow.
Well, we were both wrong about that one, too. Which means I win.
Fuck. I hate losing to him. He gets so gloaty and gloaty.
Gloat.
You're gonna make me cry.
And on that note, it's a perfect time to end this week's episode.
Are we that?
It is about that time.
So, folks, have a good...
So, unless you want to recap. Super Bowl, good game, sucky commercials.
Yep.
And Bobbi Kristina Brown, yeah, she's dead. Or almost, anyway.
Her mom's dead. Get it right.
Her mom is dead, but she could very well die in the next few days.
Hacking people's private information? Bad.
Bad.
Ready Player One? Good.
To Kill a Mockingbird sequel? probably will be good.
Do you think that'll be the record for the longest time between sequels ever?
I don't know. I didn't look. I mean,
Okay,
it's certainly a long
someone
time.
look it up because we're lazy. Let us know on our Facebook page or our Twitter or email us.
Facebook.com/CitizenHo.
Tweet us at CitizenHoPod.
Or email us at citizenhopod@gmail.com.
Or you could follow us directly on Twitter, even though we don't tweet that much. I'm at ScottyHo, SCOTTIEHO.
I don't really use my Twitter account.
Well,
It's like disabled.
Kevin's Twitter is at disabled.
Just find me on Facebook. Yes, it's like that.
Oh, and the Saved by the Bell bit on Fallon was awesome.
Good.
All right, folks. Just remember, don't trust everything you hear on a podcast.
Bye-bye.